Well, it's pretty early in the morning. I wanted to bring you in for this. That I got the engine stuff pretty much buttoned down as much as it's going to get done, and I am so far behind. I have I can't tell you how many hundreds of hours of video I have on this '65 Mustang, but I'm going through some of these now, and because they are so out of place as far as the dates and times I did stuff. I tried to stay on the engine stuff so it didn't look like I was jumping around, but in reality, of course, I was jumping around. First, I put the subframe connectors on the car, so that's kind of what you're looking at actually as I started doing this, started putting it through my editor, and it's like, this is just so out of sequence. And then when I started on the engine, I got in a fight with the accessories because I was trying to utilize the air conditioning system that was still on the bracketry and everything, I guess I should say, off of the Lincoln stuff. And man, I just fought it for many videos, and I'm not gonna put you through it. I'm just not gonna do it. I will bring back on some of them once I start putting it back together, but at this point, I'm not gonna put you through it. So I lost some time there. Then, of course, you saw the engine tear down, but of course there was quite a bit of delay from the time the engine was tore down to the time it got to the machine shop. From the time the machine shop got done to where I got the parts, because there was a delay on a lot of the parts, and I wasn't sure which way I was going to go with the cam, and so you didn't get to see a lot of that stuff. You just saw it all go together. But there was probably about 2 months, month and a half, 2 month time frame from the time I actually started on the engine until the time it was at the point where the last video was. So I don't want to talk you to death through this, but I want to get you to understand that when these next videos pop up, you're going to see possibly the old engine in the background. You may see parts all over the place and stuff like that. But as building this in segments, you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. So in this next set of videos, it may jump around quite a bit. If there's something specific you see that's done that you wanted to see, or you didn't understand, or you didn't know what I did, or whatever, just let me know. I can find a video, I can put it out, I could possibly explain it to you, that kind of stuff. So we're getting off the engine and we're going on to something else. I also did the tear down of trying to get the spindles out of the original brake system that I gained from somebody else. I acquired the entire front end off of another Mustang, which is where I got my power steering stuff from a guy off of Facebook Marketplace. And the problem is that was a fight to get those old spindles out, especially on one of them, because the old drums were stuck on everything, and you think you could just pull the nut and it would come out, but the nut bolt set up for the back of flange, it doesn't matter. We're not going to get into it right now. But anyway, I just wanted to bring you back to let you know the engine stuff is done. You're going to see me jumping around a bit. And so the next set of videos, you're going to probably, I didn't show putting the actual subframe connectors in because I can't weld and video under a car and roll around, because it really isn't tall enough for me to do this. So there was a struggle there. Every time I do something under a car, there's a struggle. So anyway, all right, so next set, subframe connectors, then we're going to go on to possibly front suspension or something. I don't know. I really don't know. So I'll bring you back here in a minute. I thought I'd bring it back real quick just to show you that I was putting these subframe connectors up. There's no way I can video this under the car. I've jacked it up as unsafe as I possibly could and still have the weight on the axle, you know what I mean? I'm trying to keep the load on the car where it belongs, and actually jacking this up like this, and this one's not welded in, but it's in place. I was just doing a test fit and actually kind of beating them into, and it wasn't hard to get them in there. Not too bad at all. This side I haven't fit yet, but I did go ahead and start grinding, cleaning up some spots, for the weld to go on, and already did it to got the coating off of the subframe connector. So I'm going to put this one in, and I'm going to actually weld this one in. I did unhook the battery, even though this car doesn't have any electronics on it. It's just a good idea, because
I'm going to be down here welding, watching stuff, and if something was to ignite up top, I wouldn't be able to see it. So it's a good idea to unhook the battery to do any welding on any vehicle. Don't care what year it is or whatever. And of course, make sure you don't have a fuel leak, because the fuel lines, I mean, here's where I'm welding. One's a brake line, one's a fuel line. So definitely make sure that you don't have a leak somewhere, and because you don't want to fire, it's a good idea to have a fire extinguisher handy. I do have one. It's hard to see. I know it's sideways, so I try to level you out there. There it is, hanging on the wall, hidden behind all the stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and this side weld it up, put it up, and then get it welded up. I'd show you how easy it goes on, but like I said, it's just too difficult to film under a car and still be able to move. This is already going to be a booger to weld on the inside, so I may actually start there, get it all tacked up, and then then burn it in. Set the welder up for I don't remember what I set it up for. 1/8 inch. If you'll focus on it, may or may not. I may have to make a few adjustments on it, so we'll just see what happens. So I'll bring you back when I'm done here. Alright, we're back on the Mustang. I didn't said film any of it because that's just such a pain, and my welds really look like crap, especially up in those where that's shoved down in that corner. My welder's good, but I am not, so especially welding upside down. I burned through the frame about 10 times, caught myself on fire 3 times, and I could only weld so much at a time because I was afraid it was going to heat the floor up and start melting my carpet. But they were both welded on both sides. I don't know what you can see, it looks pretty dark on my screen, but they are welded on front to back. I think they're supposed to be, except when I take the leaf springs out and replace the rear axle on the springs, I'll get back here. There's just a couple small spots in there that it was really difficult to get to. Spring wouldn't let me get up in there where it belonged. So, I mean, I could have raised it up and then dropped the spring and maybe got in there, but like I said, I wanted the weight on the car the way it's supposed to be set. So I just put these jack stands under it up on the frame rails themselves because I'm going to start on the front end. And sorry for the vomit cam, I'm laying on a creeper. So I do see a couple of things it's not going to be easy to mess with, or let's see if I can find parts. There's these spring covers. I don't know what they're for. That one's seen better days, so I'm going to see if I can find a set of those. And then something, this car really wanders all over the road and stuff, and I didn't do any front end work to it or anything because like I said, I knew I was going to do this someday, and we don't drive it a whole lot, but I don't know if I can hold the camera do this or not, but that is the wheel bearing on that side. I didn't even check the other side. Everything's loose, and steering down the road, the thing kind of wandered all over the place, but anyway, ended up ordering some more parts. Intake is still back ordered, doesn't look like till November. I went ahead and I done some research and looked around, and I just couldn't find anything that just caught my eye except that E303 cam. So that's on order. New timing chain, lifters, which were expensive, at $12 a piece, and a full gasket set, Felpro full gasket sets on the way. So that's another $600. I'm going to have 20 grand in this car before I'm done. There's just no way around it. I did order the hoses while I was at AutoZone getting paint and stuff to paint that up. They could actually get that cylinder. They get the power steering pump, of course. They could get the cylinder, the steering cylinder, but they couldn't get that actuator or that distributor, whatever you want to call it. But they could get all the lines. Now, mind you, the line is not going to work here because this is a way different year pump. But I went ahead and ordered all. Did they get all 4 lines? No, they could. The suction side was just like a rubber hose on both ends, and mine, I think I may have to make it work or just order for somebody else. But so the lines will be here Friday. Today is Wednesday. No big deal. I can't really hook anything up yet anyway. I didn't order the cylinder. It was $215 here at AutoZone, but it did come with the boot and everything like that, where the rest of them like 120, 130 for the cylinder, and you have to order the boot kit separate, which is another 30, 40. So the only reason I would order here for that kind of stuff, anything that is electric or pumps, I prefer to get it here. I've said that before, possibly on the same video, is it's easier for me to take it back to AutoZone here with a lifetime warranty than it is to try to get somebody from eBay a year later or 6 months later, or Rock Auto, and have to deal with shipping and boxing and explaining and everything like that. Sometimes it's just not worth it. Where AutoZone, it's, I can walk in here anytime with something and say, hey, the thing was junk or whatever, and I get my money back or another part. So, if I have to replace power steering pump with the lines, which, all that stuff is lifetime warranty. Like I said, fuel pump, water pump, AC compressor, alternators, starters, I'll always get here in town. Even if they're more expensive, just to not have to deal with shipping and dealing with another entity or public or company or whatever, it's just easier to do it here. So anyway, I just want to show you that the subframe connectors are on. Next set of videos going to be pulling the front end apart. I do not have a spring compressor either, so I'm gonna have to, maybe I said that a minute ago, but I'm gonna go in and try to find the part, that spring cover or whatever, and tomorrow we're going to start tearing the front end apart.